if you guys remember a couple of months back, I shared a video on my channel where I was basically just struggling with Final Cut Pro. Oh, no, we didn't want to change that. Nope. I don't know, this is just, why did I do this? Since the start of my YouTube channel, I was using iMovie to edit my YouTube videos. So I do have Apple products, and if you have a MacBook or an iMac, iMovie comes for free, and that's a great place to get started. I used it for years and years, and there's a lot that you can do within that platform, but I kind of got to the point where I felt like my channel needed to level up a little bit. There were certain things that I wanted to do within my editing style that I couldn't achieve with iMovie, and one of you guys told me that there was a free trial going on with Final Cut and I could sign up for a 90-day free trial. And I was like, you know what? Instead of just immediately spending $300 on Final Cut Pro, I'm gonna get started with the free trial. Continue, install. Ooh, it's happening. The installation was successful. Whoa. Okay, now I have to learn how to use Final Cut. As you guys saw in that video, I really struggled, okay? That's not what I want to do. Control Z. What is this one? No, that's not what I wanted to do either. The platform is definitely more advanced than iMovie, and I had a tough time learning some of the basics from the very beginning. Like, I couldn't figure out how to zoom in on my clips so that I could see what the heck I was actually editing. So, today, I want to create a video helping all of you. If you are at this stage where you want to switch from iMovie to Final Cut, or if you're switching from any other editing platform to Final Cut, I want to show you some of the basics, some of the things that I wish I would have known from the very beginning, that I watched tons of tutorials to learn. And like, this is the bare minimum, guys. Like, this is just barely even scratching the surface of what Final Cut can do, but if you are looking to get started, I just want to help you guys out. Okay, before we actually get to the tutorial part of this video, I just want to answer one simple question. Is Final Cut worth the $300? That's a big price tag. It honestly is. And if you are looking at getting like a new microphone for your camera, maybe you're looking at getting a ring light or some kind of lighting system, $300 can go a long way. You can buy several things with that money instead of one editing software. But for me, yeah, I think it's worth it. It has so many more features compared to iMovie. Like, it can just do so much more. It can make your videos that much better. The color correction, color grading, all of that stuff is like tenfold better than iMovie. So if you're at the point where you just kind of feel stuck with your editing, you feel a little bit limited with the software that you're using, yeah, $300 is a lot of money, but you're going to buy Final Cut only once, and then you have it forever. And sure, maybe other editing softwares will come out and you'll want to get one of those in the future, but $300, even if I use this for 3 years, that's only $100 a year, and in my opinion, that's not bad when I use it several times a week to make my YouTube videos. Okay, now, the part that you have been waiting for, some simple basics you absolutely need to know when it comes to Final Cut Pro. Now, I will be filming another video in the future talking about how I do all of the things that I do within my YouTube videos on Final Cut. I want to do an updated how I edit my YouTube videos. I've got 2 of them talking about iMovie, but it's about time that I talk about Final Cut since I have been using this since April, so it's been like 5 months. Yeah, it's been a while. And the very first thing I want to share with you guys is, have you ever heard of YouTubers that edit their YouTube videos on an external hard drive? When I was first getting started with YouTube, I had heard that before, but I had no idea what the heck that meant until I actually got started with Final Cut, and I was like, oh wait, you can create a library on your external hard drive, and then everything is stored on your hard drive. So it's not stored on your computer, it does not slow your computer down, and the benefit with that is that you can give your hard drive to someone else. If they have Final Cut Pro, they can also work on the file with you and edit, as well as if you have, like, for example, I've got a MacBook Pro as well as an iMac. I can then edit the same file at different times, obviously, but on 2 devices, which is really cool. So yeah, I really recommend editing on external hard drives. I have got one specifically for the vlog channel. I've got one specifically for my main channel. And then as I continue to go, I'm probably gonna have one for every year or several for every year. But how the heck can you actually do that? Right up top here. So I'm obviously within Final Cut. If you go to New, you can click on Library. And what this is going to do, it is going to create a library wherever the heck you want it. That is where you're going to edit your YouTube videos in the future. So I'm just gonna do, let's do like Final Cut Test. And I actually already have this selected. So my Lacy hard drive, Final Cut Test, and I'm gonna click Save. Now, what that is going to do, it's going to create a new library. So if I go over here, open library, usually these aren't gonna pop up, so I'm gonna click on other just so I can show you where to go. Click on locate, and then you can see this symbol right here is Final Cut. So this is the Final Cut test. This is my Alex and Cathrin library. So this is where all of my files actually live, all of my projects that I am editing within Final Cut. So if you are used to iMovie and you know that you have a project and that's where all of your files are for that one video that you're creating before you export it, that is essentially this, you know? So I'm just gonna click on Alex and Cathrin, click on open, and it's already opened over here. So over here on the left-hand side, these are all of the videos that I have already created on this library. It's a lot, I know, but how the heck do you create these separate files so that everything is nicely organized? What you're going to do right up top, click on File. We are going to click on New, and then I make a new event as well as a project within that event. I'm a super organized person. It's just the way that I am, okay? So the very first thing I do, I'm gonna go up top here, and I like to make it the date that I actually filmed the YouTube video. That helps to keep me really organized, because also within, I'm just like giving you guys full transparency here, within my external hard drive, I have all the original files. So if I go, this is my external hard drive here. If I click on unedited files, these are all my files, and they are by date of when I filmed them. So the video I'm specifically going to be editing is my office tour and how much I spent making this office come to life. It is going live on my vlog channel, so if you guys want to check it out, make sure you're subscribed over there. But this has all of my unedited files for this YouTube video that I'm going to be editing. So that's why I have the date up there, and then I'm just going to name it. So this is office tour, but I'll give some detail about what is actually included in that video. The other thing, I have create new project checked right there, okay? I'm gonna click okay. I'm gonna start a new project. That project appears right down here. If I click on this, this is the event, and you can actually have multiple projects within that event. So let's say I want to have an office tour vlog video that's gonna go live on my channel, as well as I wanna create an IGTV video. I can have multiple projects under this one event over here, and that just helps to keep things really, really organized. So I'm gonna go up here, click on Untitled Project, and I'm going to name this Office Tour, click Enter. Okay, and then I just wanna make sure that this is selected, but you can see it down here. This is the same as iMovie. If you guys are used to iMovie, this is the exact same down here. So this is where you want to put your files. This is really going to be your editing area. So I'm gonna go over here. These are all of my unedited files that I have on my external hard drive. These are not the files that are on my memory card. I transport them, or I transfer them. Why did I say transport? That doesn't even make any sense. I transfer them over to my external hard drive, and then I'm just going to drag and drop them down into Final Cut Pro. Now, I gotta drink some water. Okay, so right here, you can see all of the files that I just plopped into this one project that I've got going on right here. But all of my files are down here, and if you actually look at this stamp right here, 473707, this video right now is 47 minutes long and 37 seconds. It's a long video, and obviously I'm going to cut that down because I don't need a video that long, and specifically this file is 13 minutes. Do you see that yellow text that appeared right there? It's 13 minutes itself, and that is just all of the B-roll footage that I wanted for this video. It's a lot. So the next thing that I want to share with you guys, we already got how to start a new library on your external hard drive, how to edit on your external hard drive. The second thing, how to actually create a project, how to drag and drop your files in. I feel like this is like bare basic stuff that I wish I knew. The next thing, when I first got started with Final Cut, for some reason, my files were about this big down at the bottom. And I could not figure out for the life of me how to zoom in and see those files, and I couldn't find a tutorial on it, and for some reason my trackpad was being a little finicky, okay? All you need to do, which this may be like, duh, Cathrin, this is so absolutely stupid, but all you need to do is, if you have a trackpad like I have, pinch and zoom in, pinch and zoom in. That's it. I can't even tell you guys the amount of times I tried to do that and it wouldn't work until it freaking worked. But I'm the type of person where I need to see all of the breaks. Like, I need to see here that there is not sound happening, like it's dead space, so that I can cut that out. So that's one tip that I have for you guys. Okay, if I scroll the whole way over to the very beginning, I am going to zoom out a little bit. Now, one thing I love about editing on my MacBook Pro, and I do get this question, is why the heck don't you use your iMac? Why do you use your MacBook Pro? And There's two reasons. One, my iMac is super slow. Like I said, before I got started with Final Cut, I was editing just on my computer and it slowed my computer down. So I have to get stuff off of that computer before I can use it again because it is way too slow. But the second reason is because this computer has a touch bar, you know, right up at the top, which has shortcuts for Final Cut that I had no idea what the heck they meant at the beginning, but now I absolutely freaking love them. So let's go over some of those that I use, I love, I need. If you have a MacBook Pro that has a touch bar, this is what it looks like with Final Cut. And honestly, the main two that I use are these two right here. Do you see them? The one above the 6 and one above the 7. Those are the two that I use and I absolutely love them. And to show you what they do, so if we look at this file right here, you can see that this is all dead space before I actually start talking. So what this does, it crops off where I am selected to the end on the left compared to where I'm selected to the end on the right. So I have it selected there. I'm going to click the one above the 6 and it's gone. So at the end right here, actually, this is the exact same thing. There's dead space. So I'm going to click the one above the 7, click that, and it's gone. So those two buttons seriously come in handy all the time. It makes my editing so easy. Like I just have to click a button and it's done. And I absolutely love it. But the other feature you want to know if you don't have that touch bar or if you want to do those crops is the blade tool. I think in iMovie it was split clip. I use that feature all the freaking time because you guys know I typically like to cut out my breaths or any long pauses or things that just like don't really fit within the video and don't help the flow of the video. So it's called the blade tool. And what you can do, I can click Command B and that's just going to split it. So if you see the little dotted line here, I know it's like really, really faint. That means that these are two separate clips. And what I can do, let's say I wanted to keep the beginning part of this clip, I can actually just drag this over and then I have the beginning part of this clip and then it's split there. So like it jumps from that to that. Now that's obviously not what I want to do within this video, but I just wanted to share with you guys. The other thing you can do is you can actually click the B. So click B on your touch computer pad. What am I talking about? Your keyboard. Wow. Touch computer pad is where I just went with that. Okay, and what you can do is when you have B, you can just start clicking anywhere you want and that's going to split them. Now, I personally don't like to do that. If you ever get to the spot where you accidentally click on B or another thing and you want to go back to the normal mouse, click on A. I use that feature all the time, but I don't want any of these, so I'm just gonna select them and then click delete and they are all gone. Another feature within Final Cut that I absolutely hated when I was first getting started and I didn't know how to deal with them. These options over here, guys, okay? I don't want that one selected. But the only one I like selected is the first one. That is it. I don't like any of the other ones selected. This one, if you remember specifically in that video, I was having problems because
let me back the whole way the heck up over here. My office space is technically
Yup, no, I hated it and I couldn't figure out how to turn it off and it's this simple little click right here. So if you do not want sound when you are scrolling over your clips, unclick that. The other thing I didn't like, this one was selected and I'm pretty sure, yeah, it's like snapping. Oh yeah, so like you can't get, if I wanted to get to like this one specific part, but I'm zoomed out too far, it will like snap your mouse over and I didn't like that. So I have that not selected. The only one I have selected is this one right here. That's it. Okay, let's say I've got this B-roll scene, this one file, that I want to go over my text, my talking. I tend to keep all of my talking, the A-roll, the main flow of the video, all on one layer. Because within Final Cut, you can have so many layers. You can stack things above, you can stack things below. It's really freaking awesome. I leave this, all the talking, everything one layer, and then any B-roll scenes I want to add, I will pull up and I will add to the top. So when I'm specifically talking about this part, I know it's earlier in the video.
Cute, but I got it for $411.25. Now, the one thing I will...
Now, obviously I haven't edited that clip. I just randomly took a part of the B-roll that I got. So like this isn't the best B-roll that I have obviously for this, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a bunch of files up on top here that then will go over me talking. That's basically what I wanted to share with you guys right there. Now, let's say you have a part within your video that you want to zoom in. That's very, very popular, that you either want to do the slow fade in or you want to do the significant crop in. So what you want to do if you want to do that. So let's say I'm going to zoom in a little bit let's say right here, I'm gonna split clip it again. So if you guys see, I use the blade tool and I'm just gonna go right here. Now, I don't actually know what the text is saying there. Like I have no idea what I'm saying, but I just wanna show you guys how the heck this works. So I split it. So you can see, split, split. This itself is its own little clip. What you're going to do right now, you might see this as actually transform. So this right up here, I need to make sure that I'm actually hovering over. So it's selected, I'm also hovering over it because then you can access this feature. Let me pull this down a little bit too. Okay, so if this is in something else, it may be crop, distort. It's probably in crop or transform. You want it to be transform when you want to do a simple zoom in. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to pull this. You can move it over a little bit if you want to move it over. I'm gonna center myself. I'm gonna click done, and then if we take a look.
All of the details of this space, the things that I bought, so like if you guys are interested in some of these pots and things, I can link to them as well as like...
Now, obviously, that didn't make sense with the words that I was saying, but I just wanted to show you guys how you can pop in. Now, let's say that I wanted to, I'm going to take then this clip, and let's say that I wanted to do the slow fade in. If you go to crop, Ken Burns, that's what it's called. You can see the start and you can see the end. So for me, I usually don't like it to be too dramatic, so I will pull one end, I will pull the other end, and I will try to make sure that they line up in the center so that it's not going like off to the side. Unless you want it to go off to the side, you can totally do that, but that's the way I want it. I'm gonna click on done so you can see.
I can link to them as well as like my storage unit, my couch, all of that stuff I can link to.
Okay, I feel like that was a terrible example because I was holding the camera. Like if I did, let's do this just so I can show you guys, and we'll make it more dramatic. Let's have it go in really, really significantly, and this is not a beautiful shot of me, but please ignore. Okay, let's see how this works.
This is technically the dining room of the home. When we were searching for homes in Birmingham,
those are just some of the basics. I feel like I can so easily just go off about all the things like adding text and how I create my overlays and all of that stuff, but I just wanted to give you guys some of like the bare bones, the basics to get you started. But the one final thing I want to share with you guys is, actually I want to share two simple things. One, how you can change the audio level. So if you realize that your audio is too high in some places or maybe it's too low in some places, I want to share that, as well as color correction, because the color correction on Final Cut is so freaking good. Okay, so specifically for this area, can you guys see, this is your audio level down here, and can you see all of the yellow that is popping up? The audio is way too high, and that's because I have my camera flipped around, and when I have my camera flipped around, I also have my mic flipped around, and my mouth is a lot closer to my mic, so it can be really loud. So I am going to take this clip that I have right here, I'm gonna click on this option over here, and this is going to show you the things that you can do to edit that one file. And there's a lot that goes into it, but what I wanna share with you guys is right here, this microphone. This will show you the audio, and what you can do is you can drop down the audio a little bit to have it match the other areas within your video so that you have basically one level of audio within your videos. Now, you can also go down here and change it, but for me, I noticed that I can be a bit more specific if I change it over here. So that's just personal preference. But the next thing that I want to do is show you guys color correction. So let's say I've got this clip again. I only have this clip selected, so I am only changing the color on this one clip. But you're gonna go up here and click on these weird triangles. Now, there's two areas that I edit the coloring within my videos. The first area is within color board. So that is where I'm at right now. This is where you can change your exposure. You can increase or decrease your saturation. I would not recommend changing this color area because it's really, really complicated, and if you're getting started, I wouldn't do it. But let's say you want to increase your saturation. These are highlights. These are your shadows. These are your midtones, and actually you can see down here where all of them are. I'm gonna click this back. Okay, and then I'm gonna click on exposure. So this is something that I do basically within every single one of my YouTube videos. I will fix the exposure, and it's usually midtones. So if the midtones are really dark, like you can see what is happening here, you can increase the midtones a little bit. If you want the highlights to be brighter, you can bring them up a little bit, but I usually like to move the midtones up a little bit and then the highlights up a little bit, and that's where I like it. It depends. If I think that the blacks are not deep enough, I will go down with the shadows, but I really, really hated what I just did there. The other area that I do mess around with, there are color curves, hues, saturation curves. If you guys want to watch YouTube videos, figure all that out, go right ahead. But for beginners, go to color wheels, okay? This can be a little intimidating. And I've messed around with these a little bit, and sometimes they are really, really helpful, but the one thing I noticed that I need the most is a difference in my temperature. So if you guys are used to editing like your Instagram photos or even your YouTube thumbnail photos, and they're a little bit too cool toned and you want them more warm toned, or maybe they're more warm toned and you need them more cool toned, you will typically mess with the temperature and you will add more blues or you will add more yellows. Cool, warm. You guys understand what I'm saying here. So right on the temperature, if I pull to the left, it's adding more cool tones. If I pull to the right, it is adding more warm tones. So if you want more of a warmer video, pull it to the right, and that's going to create a warmer video. Now, I really did not do much with the color correction on this, but those are just simple things that you can pay attention to. That is going to be it with some of the basics of Final Cut that I think you need to know. There's so much, guys, that go into it, but if you are just looking to get started and you just want some simple things so you can edit your YouTube video, those are it. That's what you need to pay attention to. Again, I will be having another video coming out soon, sharing my whole entire process of editing my YouTube videos, how I create my overlays, and all of that fun stuff. That will be coming, but give me some time because I've got other videos that I want to film as well. But if you guys like this video and found it helpful, make sure you give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel down below, and I will see you guys back here on Tuesday with another video. Bye, guys.